This is Bumper to Bumper Radio, the car show. Drive in anxious and cruise out confident. With the best automotive information for your vehicle. Bumper to Bumper, helping you and your car feel better. And now your hosts, Matt Allen and Dave Riccio.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Bumper to Bumper Radio. I'm Matt Allen, and my co-host chair is empty today because Dave Riccio is out playing mountain bike racer this morning out in the McDowell Mountains somewhere. So it's me and one of the guys from Bumper to Bumper Radio. We've brought in Frank Leutz to help answer some questions and keep the conversation going. Frank is from Desert Car Care. And again, we're here every single Saturday from 11 to noon to help you with your car. So that's what Bumper to Bumper Radio is all about, to help the motoring public and the consumer have a better overall car experience. So if you've got questions about your car, maybe you've got answers about some of our questions, I don't know. We encourage you to give us a call. It's easy to do. Don't be shy. 602-277-5827. It's 602-277-KTAR. And if you're shy and don't want to come on the radio, you can always text your question in to 411-923. And we'll either get back with you by text, or maybe we'll use that question on air to keep things going. So today on the Bumper to Bumper Roadmap, we've got maybe an email of the week, fact or fiction. I'm sure Frank will come up with something during one of the breaks. And is your car part of your allergy problem? Maybe it's got that stank going on. And maybe used car buying tips. There's a lot of stuff that we're seeing in our shops, Frank. Tell us a little bit about Desert Car Care and what's happening with you.
I just want to know where Mr. Dave Riccio is. You talk about bicycling, mountain biking, and sweat sock stenchiness. I think Dave knew something ahead of time. I'm Frank with Desert Car Care. We're out in the East Valley. Matt, thanks for having me on and fixing cars. You know, our shop's kind of like an old barbershop. You know, everybody knows everybody, and just have a lot of fun fixing cars and, you know, at times, let's face it, fixing people.
Right.
Well, that's doing all of that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's, it's true. Not only do we fix the cars, but Frank, we're getting off our original topic a little bit here, but you get people that come in. You have men, women crying at the counter. I mean, you've got to be a counselor, you've got to be car repair expert, console people and help them. It's a stressful thing when you have a broken down car.
It is,
right?
and I got to tell you, especially when somebody comes in and says, "I've got a nasty odor from my vent."
Yeah.
What the heck is that all about?
First, before we get into the odors, though, I mean, this is the time of year. I go out to my car in the morning, and it's got this nice, dusty, yellowish green stuff all over it. And that's all that pollen that's been coming out of the trees and blowing around all night. And that's getting into your car. So that's coming into the air conditioning vents and, just stuff that's on your body. Maybe it's, I can sit at the stoplight sometimes and smell someone else's cigarette. It's from a car. This
is the greatest time of year to be outdoors, right? But at the same time, for many of us, it is tough. I almost wonder if there's an allergy shot we can give our car.
Yeah, right.
Because it seems like it's infected.
Well, the first thing that we're talking about, though, is that your car, most late model cars have a cabin air filter or a particulate filter. Some cars have 2 or 3 of them. Some of the Mercedes, BMWs, there's recirculating filters, there's fresh air filters. And what that's doing, it's just filtering the air that's coming into your car. It's going to pick up the leaves, the dirt, the dust, pollen, all kinds of junk. And you really want to have those changed about once a year in Arizona. And I like to do them during the spring. This is when we're getting our air conditioners ready, make sure they're working. And besides the odors, we can get carbon activated filters that help with some of the perfumes and other stuff. But what other symptoms do you see, Frank, of a plugged up or dirty cabin air filter? Maybe lack of...
So absolutely. Cabin air filters are key, similar to that filter in your house. That should be changed out. And this is the time of year, as you said, once a year. Once in a while, if that egg roll was left behind in the back seat, hidden under, you may emanate an odor. And, cabin air filters will help with that. But, the biggest thing along with that is the air flow volume. We get a lot of folks complaining about, hey, I've got cold air, but it's like I've got a suck it out of my vents. And they don't realize the cabin air filter's been sitting in there for 60,000 miles.
Yeah, plugged up. And it's restricting that airflow. What are some of the things you've seen in the cabin air filter that are just, you shake
your
head?
We had one gentleman come in and, he snowbird individual, right, coming in to visit during the winter. And so here he is in February, and he comes in, and not only does he not airflow volume, but he really emitted a stench. And so we got into it and we checked it, and it was a dead rodent.
Yeah.
It's a little tiny mouse. He made his home during the winter, and poor mouse and poor driver. But we had to remedy. So there's all kinds of stuff that you can get in these ventilation systems, stuff that we can't see. We expect it to do what it's going to do, but we don't realize what's happening.
Yeah, so it's to be amazed at some of the stuff we find. Again, signs of a rodent. We see like yarn. They build this nice little nest, and it's in the vent maybe, and then you turn the fan on, and it blows it up, and it stops right at the filter, fortunately. So that's good. I've seen some articles. Is your car killing you? The different odors and stuff that come in the car. I think that might be a stretch, but so keeping the cabin air filter changed and cleaned once a year will help. It's not going to necessarily get rid of that stenchy and that stinky odor. There's some other things we'll talk about in a second to clean that out. But that's going to keep the air flowing through clean and help keep some of that pollen and stink from the outside and get those particulates captured in the filter. And so when you're at your shop this time of year, once a year, beginning of the season, have them check it or just replace it.
That's right. And if you come into our shop with 15 air fresheners hanging for your rearview mirror, we're just gonna check it without you even knowing it.
Yeah, because there's something wrong. There's something
wrong. Yeah.
Well, what about the other odors, Frank? Besides the interior of the car and your allergies, I always say, the toucan. I like the Fruit Loops commercial. Got the follow your nose. Your nose can tell you a lot about what's happening with your car. So I'm going to come up with some smells here, Frank, and then we'll talk about what areas of the car. So if you're standing outside of your car and you have that maple syrup or sweet smell, what are you thinking, Frank?
Well, certainly I don't. My daughter's not cooking pancakes in the back that I don't know about. That's for sure. But that sweet smell is emanating from some sort of coolant leak from your coolant system. Your radiator or some hoses, that sweet smell, that antifreeze.
I'll walk out to a car with a customer and, let's take a look. And I'll walk up and just, click the thing, the hood opens up that inch and you're feeling around trying to find the deal to release the hood. And I already know, I go, well, I don't know what your problem is, but I know you have a coolant leak. Well, how do you know? I can smell it. It's got that sweet smell, and you look and maybe you just see a hose that's seeping or a radiator that's cracked. Not even related to maybe what they came in for. Maybe we wanted to show them a Dealey valve under the hood or check engine light, and you smell that odor. So that's a
right.
dead giveaway.
Well, and I got to tell you personally, it's really bad. When you've been doing this for so many years, when you're driving, you're at an intersection, and all of a sudden you smell that pancake syrup smell. You're like, oh, that guy's got a coolant leak.
Somebody around me is in trouble. Yeah,
that's bad. That's that nose.
So burnt carpet. What are you thinking if you were sitting in your car and just a burnt smell? It's just burnt.
Burnt carpet. That burnt carpet isn't good. Burnt carpet could smell like some fried brakes.
Yeah, burnt up brakes. Maybe you're using the brakes a little too much. I've done it before. Oops, is that parking brake that I left on 50 miles ago?
Exactly.
It didn't see the light. Or maybe a clutch.
That's right.
People come in, the clutch slipping, or maybe you're riding the clutch a little bit too much. You get that burnt carpet. What are some of the other ones, Frank, that you think of that people describe? Or
the burnt brownies or just burnt food in general, right? If you're cooking in your kitchen and you've burnt something, you get that burnt smell. That could be engine oil leaking onto the exhaust.
Right.
You get that.
Power steering leak, but the biggest one, you get the valve cover. It's kind of dripping down the side of the engine, and it gets on the exhaust manifold, and it's just
your nose can tell you so much about your car. And the fact is, you really need to, when you smell these things, get it in early on or get some attention. Because some of these things are minor in the beginning that you can settle up with and avoid a disaster.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the, 6 senses? I don't even know. I can't think today. But the nose is...
Nose, baby.
The beak is an important important feeler. So we've got some open lines. We're taking your calls. We're taking text messages. 602-277 5827. Text your questions into 411-923. I'm Matt Allen. He's Frank Leutz from Desert Car Care, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to Bumper on News Talk 92.3 KTAR.
All righty, good morning and welcome back to Bumper Radio. I'm Matt Allen. Dave Riccio is out racing mountain bikes today, so we've drug in Frank Leutz from Desert Car Care to help me out a little bit, keep the conversation going, which I know for Frank, you've always got something.
Well, I just had to step away a few feet since we're talking about stenches and odors. Did you work out before you get here this morning?
No, I'm wearing my flip-flops today.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got no shoes on.
Oh, that's the problem.
I do have a fresh pedicure this week, though. So,
look at you go.
So the dogs are in good shape, Frank. Dogs are in good shape. So we've been talking about the stink from your car. Maybe your car is contributing to your allergy problem, and just simply having a cabin air filter or the interior air filter of your car changed might just help you a little bit, whether you're sensitive to some perfumes or if you're out driving in the haboob or sucking in all that fresh pollen that seems to have found your car overnight if you're not fortunate enough to have it parked in the garage. I know my car is outside under the tree every night, and it's covered with pollen. So you may want to be looking at the cabin air filter if you've got that issue. And again, we recommend changing those once a year. So if you want to get involved with the show, you can text us at 411-923. And that is, of course, if you're too shy to call in, 602-277-5827. So Frank, we are going to pick Ann from Scottsdale. She's got a question on a 2004 Buick Rendezvous. Ann, what can we help you with today?
This is a tire question. Will you take it, or do you...
Absolutely. No,
okay.
Whatever you need. This show is for you.
Okay, well, first of all, I really enjoy the show every Saturday morning. But I took my car into a very reputable shop that I've been using for 7.5 years, and I like very much, for an oil change and a tire rotation. And they told me that I needed new tires due to weathering. I only had 16,000 miles on my tires, and they're only 3.5 years old. But I'm just asking you, is this something relatively common? This is a very high dollar tire, I might add, one that we all know, a name that we all know.
Sure. Yeah, the tires are expensive. So So you say the tires are about 3.5 years old?
They're 3.5 years old, and they have 16,000 miles on them. But there are cracking. There is cracking, and I can see the cracking along the sidewalls. I'm just wondering if that's called weathering and if that's normal here in Arizona.
It is. Do you park your car inside or outside?
It's parked outside, but it is parked in the shade.
Okay. Well, the tires, 3.5 years old, that seems a little bit premature to me to be cracking. If it's a very well-known, popular tire brand that we all know, I think I know where you're headed with that, a chubby little white guy. But that's a little bit premature in my book. Frank, it's very subjective, but it's 6 years.
It is very subjective. In the Arizona heat, certainly we'll see some of that weathering. Definitely feel your plight there, and with the tires dry rotting like that. But the key, unfortunately, is if you have any cracking on the sidewall or on the treads, you do unfortunately have to get it taken care of.
But I'll debate you a little bit there, Frank. I don't know about any. There's some cracking where you can see it separating from the tread on the side, and that's real cracking. Or you see these very fine
feather cracking.
Right. So maybe it's you're in Scottsdale. I was going to say if you're in the west side, I'd send you by S&S Tire, but Discount Tire is always a good choice. They sell tires, and they're honest people, so they may tell you, hey, it is what it is that needs tires. If they're only 3.5 years old, I might be talking to this tire store or the shop that sold them to you, and you might be able to get some relief from the manufacturer. The other thing is on the side of that tire, there's a DOT number, and it might, for example, say, in your case, it might say 2710. And that would mean that those tires were manufactured in the 27th week of 2010. So if you're looking at your tires and you can find that number on the side, those tires may have been 2.5 years old before you even got to them. So that's one thing to keep an eye out when you're buying your new tires. is to make sure you're not getting some old inventory. But I would be looking for some relief from the manufacturer at only 3.5 years. So, Ann, thanks for the call. We appreciate it, and thanks for listening. We're going to go with Rich in Phoenix. Got a question about buying a new car maybe. Rich, what can we help you with?
Yeah, good morning. I'm thinking about buying a Nissan Altima, the four-cylinder, 2.5 four-cylinder. I wanted your overall opinion on that vehicle, and more especially the CVT. I've never had an automobile with that transmission.
Now, are you buying a brand new car, Rich?
Well, either a 13 or a 14 because they came out with a different body style.
Okay. I don't have a whole lot of experience with the Altima itself. I mean, we see them in the shop. They're nice cars. The CVT transmission, I believe they've gotten a lot better. They've had problems with those over the years, and that's any manufacturer, not just Nissan. As a matter of fact, Nissan had some issues with them in the Murano, but that smaller car, I know we have one in our shop vehicle at Virginia Auto Service. We have a Cube. They're kind of different to drive. It's like that old lawnmower engine go-kart that you had. You just twist the throttle when it goes, and it's always in the RPM range. So a little bit different to get used to.
CVTs
Frank?
have come a long way, Rich. And quite frankly, Nissan Altima, very, very good, reputable vehicle. I want to add to you, Rich, and maybe some of the other viewers that may contemplate buying a car. Hey, guys and gals, rent the car for a week or two. Get a feel for it. Take it into your local garage or take it to one of our bumper-to-bumper radio shops and have them, take a peek at it. But get a feel for it before you actually make a commitment. But otherwise, Nissan's a great platform.
I know when I bought my wife and I bought the car, and I thought, well, it's a station wagon. It's a mid-sized, small
station
import
wagon.
station
Did you
wagon.
say station wagon?
It's a wagon, but
wagon.
It is a sport wagon, Frank. I'll have you know. Yes,
I see.
But I thought, well, it's big. It's a wagon. It's big enough, but it is a quote sport wagon. Well, by the time you get 3 car seats in there, or even a car seat with an adult in the back, it didn't work out so well. Tight fit. So I agree. You want to get that car if it's a popular enough car. Where most cars you can find at a rental agency somewhere. Go rent the thing. Take a road trip, or even if you can't rent one, go drive it 50. Get the salesman. Say, get out. I don't want you breathing over my back.
That's right.
I'm going to go drive this car for 50 miles. So thanks for the call on that one. We're going to go with, how about Scott in Scottsdale on a Tacoma. Scott, what can we help you with?
Hi, guys. I was replacing my brake pads last weekend, and I noticed that my hose that goes to my radiator had like some crusty, radiator fluid kind of stuff kind of just frozen around there, and I was wondering, does that mean I'm going to need a new radiator?
Well, you said it's at the hose. How many miles are on your Tacoma, Frank? Or Scott?
72,000.
72,000. Well, I mean, we see it's not uncommon. You see just that little crustation buildup, and in your case, it was probably a pinkish white color, right?
Well, yeah, like the reddish. It's just from the red fluid.
And was that where the radiator hose made the connection to the radiator?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. When it's all the way, yeah.
Okay. Well, I think your question was, am I going to need a radiator? And I think the answer to that is no. You've probably just got a hose clamp that could be weak in allowing that to leak. But at the point you're going to change out the hose clamp on your car, I just pop that lower radiator hose off. If you're doing that, I mean, you did your brake, so it sounds like you could handle this. But I would just pop off the lower radiator hose, drain it out. Might as well put a new upper and lower hose in it. And then you're going to want to use the right Toyota coolant, the red coolant. You don't want to mix colors, and get that thing filled back up. And you should be fine. I don't think you need to be worried about a radiator at all at this point. I mean, general rule of thumb on a radiator, we start looking pretty hard at them at 10 years or 100,000 miles. So when we come back, we've got more open lines, taking your text messages, of course. And if you want to give us a call, 602-277-5827.
My pappy said, son, you're going to drive me to drinking if you don't stop driving that hot rod Lincoln.
Bumper to Bumper on News Talk 92.3 KTAR.
All righty, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I'm Matt Allen, your KTAR car guy. You can find that on Facebook, by the way, if you'd like to go there and like me. I could use some more friends. And as well as Bumper to Bumper Radio. If you go to bumpertobumperradio.com, there's a list of great shops throughout the valley that can help you with your automotive needs in a very stress-free environment. And you can follow the Facebook link there and like us on Facebook. We can interact there at times as well. So, again, I'm Matt Allen. We've got Frank Lutz. I always mess up your name, Frank. I'm sorry.
It is one of those names, Dave, but or Matt, I should say. Dave, Matt, right? There we go. But it's my pleasure to be here. This is actually a pretty engaging topic, and the smells and odors and all that stuff can really make a difference if you can narrow down what they're
Especially if you're stuck in traffic. You may not want that odor. But we've got a text right on topic, and I've, of course, lost it already. But I think they say when I sit in my car, the air smells moldy. I've cleaned and detailed the car, but the smell comes back a week later. Pretty common problem. And what's probably happening in your car, you have a condensation drain or inside your evaporator where your air conditioning is. There's a box there, and it has a drain in the bottom because the air conditioner is going to dry the air, and that water is going to end up in that box, and it needs to drain out the bottom. If it doesn't, you're going to get mildew, mold, get that funk growing in there. And so that needs to be cleaned out. And that's something that most shops do as part of their regular AC maintenance and service, right, Frank?
It's not that difficult. That drain tube, a lot of times you can capture leaf and debris on the cowl there by the windshield. And, you can easily unplug that. But standing water is the key, guys, when it comes to that stench, moisture, and so on. So that AC needs to drain off, or else it's a bag of socks.
Yeah, and it's nasty. But so the first thing we've got to do is get the moisture out of there. So if that drain is plugged, and that's usually on the passenger side floor, just kind of where if you're sitting there and the floor is flat and then it starts to go up, on the outside of the car, typically you're going to see that drain there. Maybe get a coat hanger in there, or a pencil or something, see if it's restricted and get that water out. Secondary to that, I know in our shop we have some special equipment where we fog blow a bomb off inside of the car, and it goes in, circulates to the vents, and cleans that. But I think at home, you're just as well. You can turn the air conditioner on, put it on recirculate, where that's going to pull air off the passenger side floor well. And hey, I wouldn't be shy to get a can of Lysol and pull the trigger and let it fly. Run that through the vents. Run it till it's blown out the vent, sucking it out the bottom, and then close that car up and let it sit for a while. And that might kill that funk.
Matt, I want to know. There's some, the internet's a very interesting place, right? You can find lots of stuff, but I've never tried it. Maybe some of our listeners have, but they say soaking vinegar and putting it in a bowl and just letting the vinegar soaked rags.
It could absorb
absorb it. I don't know if that's some sort of gimmick.
But I think that's an odor like cigarette smoke or something that's stuck in the car. But if you've got like that mildew, you've got to kill the mold.
Kill off
the mold. Yeah,
exactly.
That's where I was thinking the Lysol or whatever. But I've heard baking soda. I've heard from one guy you put bread all over the car and the yeast or something that happens. It'll.
I don't know if it's just me, but I like to just get some of the Fabuloso. You ever get that? It smells great for about half a day.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of us we mask the odors that come. We hang the 15 air fresheners.
Well, is that like lipstick on a pig? I mean, now
exactly.
you just have a turd that smells like pine.
Right, but it works for me. Fabuloso. There we go.
All righty. So Sally is up. Sally's calling from Florence on a 2005 Hyundai Elantra. Sally, you're on Bumper to Bumper Radio. What can we do for you?
My car, it does a hard shift between second and third. But it only does it I can start it in the morning, let it, and drive it for like 15 miles and nothing. And then after about that 15th mile, it'll start, it only does it in upshifting from second to third.
And how many miles are in this car, Sally?
About 145,000.
Okay. Have you ever had this looked at? Is there any fault lights or warning lights on the dash, a check engine light, or any other symptoms related, or just that hard shift second to third?
Just the hard shift, and a lot of times won't even be that hard. It's just like it'll be like a hesitation, and then it'll jump into gear.
Okay. Well, transmission problems are sometimes masked, or people think you have a transmission problem when really you have an engine drivability problem. Frank just mouthed mounts to me.
That's right. Maybe, but
I was
going to do it all the time.
Yeah,
exactly.
You would feel that initial clunk on the first, not necessarily that second, third. Low transmission fluid, but it doesn't make sense. I would think that would be happening when it was cold and go away as it warmed up. So Boy, that's a tough one.
That's got to be looked at.
Somebody needs to
otherwise
drive
it's
it.
guessing.
Yeah,
Right,
somebody needs to
absolutely.
drive it. You could have you could have something as simple as a dirty mass airflow sensor. There's a lot of inputs that tell that transmission when and how to shift.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's just a test drive. Is really somebody needs to.
And without getting sidetracked, Matt, we got to talk about transmission fluid real quick, and that regarding Sally's shift points. If one is not regularly flushing out the transmission based upon the owner's manual, and all of a sudden you take it into a shop, and at 148,000 miles it gets its first transmission flush, that could be a problem.
Well, yeah, it could be, but I think more important than that is a lot of people, and we have the car in our shop right now. They just bought the used car. They think they have a transmission problem, and they do. They called. They wanted to have a transmission flush, and if so, of course,
Right.
I'm finding out why. Why do you want to do this?
Absolutely.
Why do you want to do this?
Right.
And then it comes out that they just bought the car, but then we see the check engine light is on, and then we do some diagnostics there and find out it's a transmission failure. It's got a valve body or a torque converter on this particular Audi, but they still want to flush the transmission fluid. I've got to tell you, that's not going to fix the car. That's almost like going to the dentist and they say you have a cavity. You say, well, I'll just go home and brush my teeth.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think the consumer needs to be cautious of that, certainly on that point. Get the car checked out before you buy it, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, we've got an ever-patient Ruben with the Land Cruiser. Ruben, what can we help you with on your Land Cruiser?
Yes, talking about odors. On my Land Cruiser, when I turn on the AC, I got this smell. It's not moldy or anything like that, but I believe this car doesn't have a cabin filter. Is that correct?
Some cars came with them. Some cars didn't. Some cars came with an option where there was a slot for it, and you could just pull out the cover and put one in because it was an option. And there's some of them where you could actually add it by you cut. There was the marks are already perforated on the box, and you could cut them and then buy the kit from the manufacturer. The first one came with a filter in the clip-on cover. The best way to find out if your car even has one, if it's something you want to attempt doing yourself, just go to the local parts store. Go to Napa. Go to wherever you might choose to buy your parts from, and just look it up. Say, here, I have this 2000 Land Cruiser XYZ model. If you have the VIN number when you go in to look for parts, that's even more helpful, and see if they have one. But
no, they don't have one.
Okay.
That's why.
Ruben, I have a question for you. Is this more of a mildewy, kind of a, let's just face it, no? How would you describe that smell, Ruben?
Well, it's like dusty, like a little bit. It's not really bad, and it only goes for, I don't know, let's say 5 seconds, and then it stops.
It sounds like
the air conditioner start running and the cold air comes out, the odor is gone.
Okay, well, that could be what I would do. A couple things. If you want to see if you can add a cabin air filter to that model, go to the Toyota dealership, go to the parts counter, and ask them again, do you have a cabin air filter for this car, or is there an upgrade kit? Now, you got to be cautious, though. Cabin air filter is not going to make pungent, nasty odors go away. But in your case, with that dusty, dirty smell, that's going to be the beginning of the mildew, maybe. Or you could also check up on the cowling, lift the hood around the base of the windshield. That we see those packed with dirt and debris and leaves, and that's where the air is coming into the car. Might help just to clean all that out and then see if that odor goes away there. And if you can put a cabin filter in there, great. If not, just keep that cowl area clean. So thanks for the call, Ruben. And how about, let's see here, Frank, we're going to get Tammy in Mesa. She has got a 2005 Chevy Cavalier. Tammy, what can we help you with?
Hi, I have an odor question, and I don't know if we'll have time, but if so, I have two vehicles, both with issues. So with the Cavalier, I have two cats. I took them to the vet. They were in their little carriers, but I think one of them may have gone to the bathroom or something, because after I took the cats to the vet, my car started smelling not like cat urine, but like sour milk, and it was really weird. So I was filling down where they were sitting on the floorboard, and it was kind of like damp, and then I smelled my hand, but there was no odor to it. Mm-hmm. But so I soaked all that up, and I thought, well, it has to be cat urine. It's the only thing I could think of, right? So I went and bought the enzymatic cat urine cleaner and saturated the car with that, but I still smell spoiled milk. So I don't know if you have better recommendations for how to clean the carpets, or if there could be something else that might, have an odor that smells like sour milk.
I know Frank is vigorously looking on his smartphone right now, because before the show we were talking about there was a sour milk smell that we talked about.
Yeah, that's going to be difficult, Tammy. I think what we're fighting is the vomit acid, quite frankly, whether it be human or pet. And
okay,
that's
so
going
you think they vomited rather than urinated?
Well, it's possible. The bottom line is, that bodily emission, either way, it's going to be a challenge. I think you're headed on the right path.
Maybe some white vinegar, maybe.
Again, I've just read this, and I'm really sensitive to what we find on the internet. I haven't talked to anybody, but I'm going to offer up the vinegar, saturated rags in the bowls, and try that to help saturate those odors, almost kind of a charcoal-y saturation. Yeah.
Okay.
And then what
I was kind of thinking, I had read something about using vinegar and then baking soda, and then they said it'll foam up and dry and then vacuum it out.
Well, let us know how that works out for you. Then what was your other question that you had? Which other car?
The other one is on my husband's car. He has a 2003 Toyota Matrix. And with his, and I think you might have hit the key on one of the issues, because he just has a foul odor in his car always, and it's even worse when he runs the air. But also the passenger side front seat sometimes gets, not the seat itself, but the floorboard gets damp or wet. So would that be what you guys were talking about with the gentleman before, with the maybe the air conditioning not draining out properly?
Yeah, I think you nailed that one right on the head. That condensation box, or that evaporator box, is just filling up with the condensation from the air conditioner. So if he can get under the car in a safe manner, and this is one thing when we're giving advice on doing it yourself, if that's his thing, never, ever, ever, ever get underneath a car that's not properly supported with jack stands or anything. It could ruin your day and a lot of other people in your family's day if something happens. So get the car up, and you're going to be looking for just maybe like a little inch-long tube sticking out of the bottom of the floorboard area. And you can take a pin. Don't take anything real long, because you could go up there and jab and poke a hole in the evaporator or something. But something the length of a pencil, a pin, maybe a little bit of a coat hanger, and poke around. You're probably going to get a half a quart of water out of there, I bet. So good question. We appreciate the calls. We've got very patient waiting Chris and Don and Linda from Scottsdale. We'll be right back with you.
Bumper to Bumper on News Talk 92.3 KTAR.
All righty, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I'm Matt Allen. I've got Frank Lutz with me.
Happy day.
Helping out from Desert Car Care in Chandler. Dave Riccio is out riding the mountain bike. I don't know what it is about the mountain bikes. I'm like my friend Marshall. I like the right-hand throttle in the dirt. That's too much pedaling.
You know what, though? This time of year, many of us pedal in the gym. Why not pedal out? It's just a gorgeous time to be out. So kudos to Dave.
I'll twist that right throttle hand myself. Throttle and brake are for me. So again, Frank, thanks for coming in and joining us.
My pleasure.
And we're talking about those funky smells in your car, and this is the time of year with the cabin air filter, just like that filter in your house that you're supposed to change it once a month. So if you haven't done that yet, maybe it's time to do the car and the house. But the car is a once-a-year deal, and got a lot of people with funky smells and mildews and odors, and those can be cleaned out. We have stuff in my shop that can do it. You can use Lysol at home, change the filter, cabin air filter, make sure the AC drain is unplugged. There's several things you can do at home. And if you're looking for a shop to help you with that stuff, bumpertobumperradio.com. You'll find a handful of mom and pop shops, I like to call them, locally owned, locally operated by people in your community. So if you need one, bumpertobumperradio.com. And we're going to grab Linda in Scottsdale. She's got a new car, 2013 Nissan Altima. Linda, how can we help you?
Hi, yes. My car was only purchased September 1st. It's an SL Altima,
okay,
2013. And I made the big mistake 4 weeks ago of picking up 2 bags of fertilizer from the nursery. They put them in my trunk, and a block away, I was like, oh, my gosh, maybe I should go back and bring them back and return them. But I did not. I drove all the way home. My entire new car smelled so bad.
Okay,
We
you got
took
that
we
manure
had
type
Febreze,
fertilizer.
The trunk, we took the carbon. The inside, we had this little odors away stuff. So my question is, when I go take it to the dealer, should I just have the in-cabin filter changed, or do I have to have the one under the hood changed, or should somebody recommended spraying something I think called Ozite or something in those vents where the windshield wipers
Right.
are outside, and then turning on the air and just letting it run?
Well, the if that odor is from the fertilizer or probably manure
Yeah,
stuff,
oh my God.
yeah.
I go, what did you guys do to your stuff 5 years ago? It didn't smell like this.
You didn't
They
get
had-
the odor free, right?
Oh my God.
Well, changing the cabin air filter, I do not believe is going to help with that at all. The cabin air filter, we're typically changing that because it's packed with dirt, dust, leaves, other debris that's going to come into the car from the outside or be lifted up off the passenger side floorboard. If you've just got that stench in the car and you said it was in the trunk, the one thing I would do is make sure it's all out, first of all. If that bag split, it might have gone around that carpet and got down below by the spare tire well. Make sure that's all out. And, geez, I think the Google remedy is as good as any. You're just going to have to try. Again, the bowl of vinegar.
The biggest challenge with that is what we're seeping into that carpet, and that's just like in our homes. It's so tough to get those odors, out. So I think within time, Linda, and maybe a little elbow grease, you'll get it done. But probably not going to suggest you have everything tore apart and spend all this money to try to alleviate that. I think within time, and some Fabuloso,
and I've heard charcoal.
Charcoal,
but
absolutely.
I mean, I guess you can still get charcoal that isn't like the Kingford match light. You want
to light it up. Yes.
You don't want the one with the fuel on it in the trunk of the car. But I would. That is certainly one where I would dig into the Google remedies. And I'll tell you what, when you're done with that, would you follow up and send us an email at bumpertobumperradio.com and just let us know how that turned out and what the ultimate remedy was. And then remember, too, your 2013 Nissan, you don't have to take that back to the dealer. We've got a couple great shops in Scottsdale that can take care of all your needs and keep that car under warranty at the same time. We've got Whitey's in South Scottsdale, Air Park Auto Service in North Scottsdale. So if you're looking for a shop, give one of them a try. And let's see, Frank, we've got, I don't know if I can do that one. We'll save him for a second. We're going to take Chris, and she's got a Toyota Matrix. Chris, what can we help you with on your Matrix today?
Hey, yeah, I got a weird problem, and it's a little off topic, so you guys may not know, but every time I park on an incline, the car, it's a stick. It kind of rolls forward a little bit when I park it. I always have trouble starting it after that, but it's only when it's parked on an incline.
Now, when you say you have trouble starting it, tell me a little bit more. Does the engine actually crank over, or you just turn the key and nothing happens?
I just turn in the key and nothing happens, no click or anything.
Frank, I wouldn't be thinking that really has anything to do with parking on the hill.
It really shouldn't, unless I have a thought. If our battery is not clamped down, and I'm not sure, Chris, if that's the case, and this is really reaching. It's reaching.
We're not in San Francisco on that.
Exactly, that's an incline.
Hill,
but
Frank.
When I think no crank, no start, obviously we're dealing with the primary side, right, of voltage and things like that. So, Chris, make sure that you don't have anything like a battery that maybe not connected properly. And again, this is reaching. It's a very odd set of circumstances that you've got. With that. So you may want to have a shop look at it,
Yeah, I'm just thinking it's coincidental. Some of the different items, when you go to start that car, they don't want you to be able to start the car in gear and have the thing take off across the shop or across the house, across the parking lot, wherever you are. So you have to step on the clutch in order to start the car. And there's a clutch inhibitor switch. It's basically an open and close switch, so that every time you step on the clutch, it will then allow that starter circuit to be completed and allow the engine to crank over. So that's the area that we're looking at. Yeah, you may check.
Carpet,
good idea, Frank.
Chris, this may be reaching, but I think it's worthy of it. Check your carpet, on an incline, and maybe that carpet is starting to snug itself under the clutch pedal.
Yeah,
maybe?
not even on an incline, because I mean, how many times I've seen people come in, the car won't go, and they've got the floor mat just is pushed up and it's underneath the gas pedal, it's underneath the clutch pedal. So that's a good one there, Frank. I wasn't thinking about that. So thanks for the call, Chris.
It's the odors. Yeah.
And Frank, one topic, we've only got about a minute here. Used cars. We see it all the time. I know you see it in your shop. I see it in my shop. People are going out and making mistakes buying used cars. Please, 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 at least have your mechanic or a shop check this car out before you buy it.
It's tax season. You're looking. Get a pre-purchase inspection.
Yeah.
Don't do the post-purchase. We've got lots of sad stories we could share, but get your car checked out.
And same thing with a new car.
Absolutely.
If you're at a dealer, I want to go drive it. Here's my driver's license. I want to go get 30 minutes. Go drive it in the conditions that you think you're going to use the car, and make sure it's got the gadgets and the bells and the whistles and all that stuff you want. Because remember, a lot of people selling used cars are not selling them because they are in perfect shape. So
That's right.
Again, thanks for joining us. I'm Matt Allen. Frank Lutz helping me out today. Dave Riccio will be back with me next weekend. And again, every Saturday, Bumper to Bumper Radio from 11 to noon. Peter, thanks for running the dials, and have a great weekend.